The US has had a pretty awful year, and I moved away from Texas in September, but I see you, my friends and family. I know what you guys have been dealing with, and my heart really goes out to you. First of all, of course, there's the fact of living with the increasing numbers of COVID cases and deaths over the last year and its physical aftermath for long-termers. Then there's the awful snowmageddon. Now, of course, all the COVID restrictions have been lifted from Texas. And while it's great for business, it creates a definite threat for those of us who are at high risk. Yeah. But all over the world, we've had to figure out how to cope with extraordinary changes in our lives, in our relationships, in our health. And in Texas, of course, the massive failure of the power grid. I mean, times like these will challenge us to react and to have to face realities that we don't know how or if we can survive. For some of us, those changes are merely changes in where we live or how we work. But for some of us, it's meant uprooting our entire way of life and losing multiple members of our family, our social network, and having to come out on the other side, trying to ground ourselves in this kind of foreign world. I'm Melody Brooke. I'm an author, veteran therapist, actor, filmmaker. I've been one of the very blessed this past year. I've not lost any family members or been thrown into dire straits. But I do wake up every single morning grateful for the blessings that I have. Yet my daily life is filled with stories of those of you dealing with so much more. And I'm heartened by stories of those who are finding ways to reach out and help others during this time, because for some of us, just getting through a day can seem impossible. For some, it may actually be impossible. I've seen that for the most part, being put into positions of challenge, most people will face them with grace and with courage. I know there's some that will collapse and really struggle with how to find the strength to do what they have to do. And that's not their fault. They, for whatever reason, have not been given the opportunity to discover exactly how much they're really capable of doing for themselves. Of course, this ability to survive isn't just about how we survive. We've had to do things, created ways of on. So then when we do have the courage to recognize what we did to survive those difficulties, those actually for now. When we look back at our younger, brash, harsh, aloof, cold, emotionally volatile selves with embarrassment and even shame. We judge ourselves by today's standards and reject the very parts of us that we're used to. Say, vision is 2020 in the rearview mirror. The truth is, if you could have done any better, you would have done better. The only things you could do at the time were what you did. Knowing what you know now, you'd have picked a different partner. You might not have been so tough on your kids. You might have been more careful with your body. You might have valued yourself and others more. These are all things that are so easy for us to condemn ourselves for now. Now that the time has passed and we can see another choice that maybe could have been possible. The trouble is, well, we didn't see that other choice. That other choice was not available to us at the time. You may be in one of those times right now where your survival is at stake and you find yourself saying and doing things that surprise you, and other circumstances you wouldn't do what you're having to do right now. So the truth is that for some of us right now, things really are that dire, where the choice we have of available to us are limited, and our support systems have failed to provide the needed support. Our nation struggles with the very real limitations of a capitalistic society. While it still is the best in the world, it has a large portion of the population without their basic needs being met. The pandemic and its economic aftermath have worked that situation for millions of our fellow Americans. I got a notice on my door this past week about the increase in auto thefts in our gated garage and warning residents to be wary of knocks on our doors. This, to me, is a sign of the desperation that people are feeling today. Our social safety nets are threadbare. And if something doesn't shift the way we support the bottom of our socioeconomic communities, this will get worse. So as you go through your day-to-day, notice people. I know it's tricky with so many people wearing masks and avoiding contact due to the pandemic. We tend to walk by each other without so much as a nod or a smile. Oh my gosh, I miss smiles. One day, a few weeks ago, while it was warm enough, I went for a walk, and this gentleman complimented me on my boots. It made me smile because we walk in such anonymity these days. I think we all need to start being more aware of each other and making a point to start acknowledging each other's presence. We are all struggling in some way to survive in this harsh reality of the past year. For some of us, it's deadly. For some of us, it's mental drama, some relationship drama. But what I've learned is that each person you pass, and of course yourself, needs acknowledgement of what we've survived, and that we continue to take the next best step to do what we can to move forward with as much grace as possible, and knowing we will mess it up sometimes. We will make mistakes. We will hurt feelings without meaning to. We will have to forgive ourselves and each other for the errors and missteps along the way to our getting through it. As my friend Yvonne Crum says, be kind to each other, because the alternative will leave you and them with regrets. Thanks for being with me today. You can find out more about me at melodybrook.com. I have some books available on Amazon. You can check that. Thanks for tuning in. If I can find out anybody's joined us. Nope, nobody's joined me live today, but I do wanted to just thank you for watching whenever you end up watching this, and I will see you next week. I'm here every week at 4 o'clock. Now, the problem I had the last 2 weeks is that my sound didn't work, so I tested it today to make sure that my sound was still going to work today. So I will see you next week at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. See you then.